Alright, what's up guys? So I'm here to talk to you all about my transformation story and everything that I went through to get to where I am today in fitness. So I'm gonna just jump right into it. So when I was younger, right, my thing was always basketball. I love hooping, I love it to death, and I wanted to get better at basketball, and that was my main priority. That's the reason why I got into fitness. It was because I love basketball and I want to get better at basketball. At the time when I was younger, I wasn't worried about my diet, I wasn't worried about preventing injuries, I wasn't worried about nothing. It was like, yo, how do I get better at basketball? What workouts do I gotta do to do it? Give them to me, I'll do it. I didn't know what research to do, I didn't know anything, yo. So I was really jumping in like just raw into this whole thing. So when I was young, I met a guy named Frankie Trofort.
Be part of the solution. Today is Saturday, the 8th of September, 2011. Early Saturday morning. Somebody got to do it.
Now, he was an amazing person that really helped me as far as like shaping the way I look at fitness and just putting me through workouts that really helped me when I was younger. So he would do workouts once a week on Saturday morning at 7 a.m. So mind you, when you're young, you're not trying to just jump into workouts and stuff like that. And at this point, when I'm first training with him, just to give y'all a timeline, I'm probably maybe like 12, 13 years old, something like that. So I might be a little bit off, but it's around that time period. And what Frankie did for me was that Frankie helped me understand that there's a lot of different ways that you can go about training and improve your fitness. His nickname is the Mind Twister. He's crazy, but I love it. But he's crazy in a way where you're forced to like kind of love and respect the way he goes about fitness, because he just loves making things exciting and cool and interesting. It's like literally having us flipping tires, taking a hammer and swinging it down on the tires. He would have us like using battle ropes, doing push-ups, doing pull-ups on the construction bars, and like doing ab workouts. Like it was crazy. People would be driving by honking, just seeing a group of like 10-15 kids doing all these crazy workouts on the street. The thing that made it amazing was that he did it for free. So like he just wanted to help the community, give back, and help us get better. And for that was unbelievable, because you don't see people doing that as often as we should. And he did, you know what I mean? He was a real big part of what I became as far as like building my foundation. So that was huge. So now eventually I get to high school. Now high school basketball was interesting for me because basketball was always my thing. So basketball around this point in my life, it was crazy because number one, I was pretty good at basketball, but I was never the most athletic. I never had the most endurance, but I was always skilled because I just loved the game itself. I loved the craft. My sophomore year, I get to the high school that I end up going to, and I'm not playing varsity, I'm playing JV. My junior year, I'm playing JV and varsity. My senior year, I'm playing varsity. So now my junior year, I'm averaging like probably like, I kid you not, like 21, 22 and like, I don't know, maybe 8, 9 assists. That year I think we were almost undefeated, you know what I mean? We was like really killing teams. Now my senior year, a big part of my journey, man, this was one of the hardships that I went through. So if you ever played for like a sports team, you probably know that any team can be dealing with like politics or favoritism, or your coach is crazy and it stunts your growth, whatever it may be. That was part of like what I went through. So my coach, he didn't really have a basketball background. He had never played really like for real in his life. And he came over from, I think he was like a baseball or softball coach before, and there was a coaching spot open. He took it, and that was the person like guiding me in my basketball life at that point, which was just, it wouldn't do much for me. So he wasn't really good at developing players, and he wasn't very understanding on how to help people like really get comfortable with the game. Like if I ever made a mistake, he'd be like, "Wyatt, get the hell out!" It was tough for me because I wanted to get better at basketball, but at that point, my only understanding of getting better was just work harder at practice and I'll be better, right? Because that's just all I knew at the time. So I didn't have my first iPhone until I was like a sophomore in high school. So the world of like all this fitness knowledge and access to all this intelligence like hadn't really fully developed yet, you know what I mean? Like, if I had been in high school today with all the information being thrown at my face on fitness and basketball now, it'd be different. It'd be very different. So that was like what really shaped the way like I kind of look at fitness now, because I really want to help people understand like there's so much more if I had known or been ready for at that time that would have made me a different player, that probably would have kept me connected to the game in a way that I wish I still could. Like, I want to give people that opportunity with the knowledge that I know now. Like, yo, I didn't know this before, but now that I do know this, you might not. Let me make sure you know this, and this is how you go about it, so you could really, like, you can eat, and you can get your buckets. Do you know what I mean? That's how it all started for me. And then on top of that, too, my older brother, he was big on parkour, free running, all that. In my sophomore year, I also started doing parkour and free running. Now, his thing was, he had his own YouTube channel. So, out of nowhere, he started posting. His first video got 1 million views. He did a commercial with KFC, a clothing company. It was just wild. And like, just watching him, like, the way he trained, the way he performed when he did his videos, he taught me a lot about the way you can look at fitness as far as like what you can get your body to do, like the explosive aspect, the aerial control, the core strength, the precision. It was all very like, it was artistic and scientific all at the same time. It was beautiful. I mean, it looked like poetry in motion. It was amazing. So that helped shape the way I look at things. So now, because I didn't want my basketball career to be over, which is like the main thing that drove me in fitness, I was like, yo, how can I want to play in college. A high school career was not good. How can I keep this alive, yo? Like, I can probably walk on somewhere, right? Then I was applying to schools. I got into St. John's University, and out of all the schools I applied to, that was probably the best education-wise, but they're D1. And my thinking was like, if I want to stay with basketball, I could probably walk on Division 2, Division 3. Walking on Division 1 is a different ball game. So there was someone local, Steven Johnston. He was training, he does a lot of training with, if you have Instagram and you follow DJ Sackman, he trains a lot with him. And he trains a lot of NBA players and whatnot. So he's doing great right now. But it is no surprise, because this is how he's always been. So that summer, I had an internship, and I remember 9 to 5, I'd work the internship. 6 a.m., I'd get up to go do basketball drills with him, and then after work, like maybe I get off at 4:35, I go to the weight room with him. And I was doing that for that entire summer as an 18-year-old, first time like deciding what I want to do with my life going into college. And it was just, it was crazy. It was really crazy. And that really shaped the way, it shaped my discipline, it shaped my consistency. Because to me, it was like, yo, basketball is such a big part of my identity. Like I said, like if I lose it, I really don't know how I'm going to be or how I'm going to get through things. Because like that, at that point in my life, that's all I knew and that's all I wanted to do. So losing that felt like losing like a big part of myself, and it was hard to really grasp the idea of that, you know what I mean? So now I get to college, and I want to walk on when I get to St. John's, and Tyler Walston, another name that was on that basketball team, he was a walk-on for the St. John's team. He went to my high school. He was 2 years older than me, so when I was a sophomore, he was a senior. And he quit the team the same reason that I didn't like the coach, because he was, you know, I went through all that already. I'm not going to repeat myself. So I remember I started training with him, and yo, those D1 basketball workouts, different. Crazy. Hardest, and yeah, just the hardest and the craziest workouts I'd ever done in my life at that point for basketball. And I remember I came in and like, from all the training I did with Steve over the summer, he saw me go for like a crazy putback dunk, and the rim was like right here. And he was like, yo, you've been working on your bunnies, you've been training a lot, you know what? Maybe we should do more training, because you know what I mean? Because in high school, he saw how I was, and I really made a complete 180, and that really changed me into like, you know, what I became when I got to college. And he was like, you know what, you really show me that you're doing something serious here. And me and him are still really close right now, you know what I mean? And he understood like, okay, so this is it, man. I want to help you get better. So we trained a lot, and on the side, I did a lot of my own fitness stuff. Because at college, that was the first time I used to go to the weight room like 5-6 days a week. I was doing a crazy, like a push-pull legs routine, and I would always do like my leg workouts were always like half of the time explosive workouts. So this is when I started to get my bunnies were getting crazy. I was jumping high. At this point I started to dunk, and then I was like, yo, like I finally caught like I was catching little rim grazers, and I was like, okay, hold on a second. Yo, I was hype. Because you know, if you're a basketball player, being able to dunk is like the best feeling ever. Because that's the one thing that you all see the pros doing that you can only dream of doing, and then you finally do it, and it's like, yo, it's crazy. End of the year, the coach at the time, I think his name was Steve Lavin. There was a whole fiasco with St. John's going to the NCAA tournament, and like players that were playing that shouldn't have been playing, and things being swept under the rug. Point being, Steve Lavin got fired, or he quit or something. The whole coaching staff left. Chris Mullen, who played on the Olympic team with Michael Jordan, he became the new head coach at St. John's, and there was no walk-on tryouts. So at that point, you need to imagine what I went through. It was like, it was just crazy. It was just crazy because all the work I'd put in that summer with Steve, going like hardest I'd ever gone with basketball, and then training during my first semester with Ty, and then just hearing that news was crushing, because that was my only goal I had set for myself that I really took seriously. That was a big part of like me keeping part of my identity for like literally what I know, which was basketball. So just hearing that, it was a point in my life where I kind of felt lost for a little bit, where I was like, yo, this is all I was thinking about, just like working, making money, and then like being able to hoop. And I was like, alright, I don't really know what I want to do now. But at that point, I had gotten so good with like fitness and whatnot, I was like, yo, let me just keep this thing going. And you know, at this point in my life, the hardest thing with fitness was probably when I got mono. Because if y'all know how mono works, you can't eat anything for mad long. I lost like 20 pounds. I mean, I'll show y'all a picture. I mean, I was thin, yo. Like I lost mad weight. Couldn't eat for a while. I was sick for about like a month and a half, 2 months. And then even worse, once you lose all that muscle, like training to get it all back was just crazy. So now sophomore year, around this time is when things started to go like on the up. So this is when like things start getting good. Sophomore year, I make an Instagram for the first time. Not for the first time. I make my fitness Instagram March 2016. I'll never forget. I just started posting like me doing like fun push-ups I like doing, because throughout my time training my freshman year, I was like, alright, you know what? One thing I like doing is push-ups, and this is fun for me. It's entertaining. So I started posting push-up videos, and people, they liked it. They were like, yo, this is entertaining and stuff. Like, post more stuff. And I kept posting more push-up videos, and then people would see me working out in the gym, and they'd be like, yo, can you like show me like what else you do for your training? Because at that point, I didn't realize how unique my training style was. It was just me doing what I knew. But obviously, now you understand why I gave you all that context before. When you understand like the basketball specific training, the training with Frankie, the training with my brother who loves parkour and free running. It's a very unique training background that I had. It's not normal. So people wanted to learn a lot from me. So I remember I started posting videos on Instagram where I give people like a few tips on like what I was doing, just like little simple stuff. And they wanted me to post more and more, and then I made a YouTube channel, and then eventually I was like, yo, I kind of like this fitness thing, yo, because like I started to fall in love with the process of really developing my body and growing. And I was like, yo, let me become a personal trainer. So I become a personal trainer. And it's crazy because I'm making like $10 an hour because it's like a little school job. And I was like, yo, this is no way. Like, come on, yo. Personal trainers make more than this, yo. And like I put a lot of energy and work into like studying this craft, and I'm really helping people. So that's when I was like, okay, how do I make my own business so I can make more money than this? Because like I truly know deep down inside I'm worth more than $10 an hour. So I remember I literally started looking up like how to make YouTube videos, how to make custom workout plans, and you know what I mean. And like I couldn't really find things online, but like I had to put things together like from my experience to kind of like figure out the best way to help people. So I used a few little things I found online, which didn't help me too much, combined with like my experience and whatnot. That's what really changed the game for me. And then I started to really take on my own clients. And I started to really help transform people, like my friends, my cousin. Like I started to really help people see a change in their body. And I remember, yo, at this point, this is when things started to get crazy. Crazy, because the things I was doing with my body, first of all, were just insane. So all of a sudden, like, everything in my body and everything I had done up to this point started to peak. This was like the strongest and most lean I had ever looked. This is the highest I was ever jumping. Like, I was tomahawking, I was windmilling, two-hand flushes. Like, my bunnies were just crazy. The type of like workouts I was doing, whether it's like the explosive push-ups or the side-to-side push-ups or muscle-ups, like just the workouts I was doing, like just my body was just doing things I did not even think I could really do, or it wasn't possible, at least at that point in time. But it was just, yo, it was different, man. It was real different. And I remember eventually it got to a point where my school had contacted me, because they were like, Maya, we want to like have you on the front page of our school website. And I was like, yo, wait, what? And so, this was when I started to really like realize, I was like, yo, I'm really doing something right now. Because, I mean, mind you, St. John's at the time, I think it was like 16,000 students. And out of all those people, they want my story on the front page of the website. And they basically made a whole video that allowed me to speak on like my brand and the type of training I do and stuff like that. And I remember way more people hit me up for me to like get clients after that on campus. And that is like when I started to really realize, like, yo, I got a thing for this fitness thing. Like, I love this. I love training people and helping people get better. I love giving people knowledge so that they don't fall into the same situation that I was in high school, where I didn't know any better and all I knew was work hard, but I didn't know how to work smart. I didn't know what angles to take. I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to navigate that world, you know? And so that's what made me passionate about it. Oh man, it was I'm feeling crazy about this right now, but that's what really like got me the way I am now, man. So I was like, okay, I want to keep this going. How do I keep this going? How do I like, and I always knew I wanted to like get like a good job working full time, but I always knew that like I want to keep fitness as a real part of my life moving forward, and like keep it as a business just so that I can really help people in ways that I know they need it, that they probably don't even know they need it. I'm talking so fast, yo. Helping people in ways that they don't even really realize that they need it either. So I wanted to really help people in that way. So that's kind of why I have physical transcendence the way it is now. So physical transcendence meaning just transcending your own physical limits. But it's not just physical. Like, physical transcendence is just a concept to say you're really pushing yourself to be better or be more. It started with fitness, but it can be mental, it can be spiritual. Like, you should always be looking for the next step to better yourself, because you're really never gonna know like what it's like or what you're capable of or your potential. I thought at the time like basketball was my identity and that's really who I am. But the truth is, man, I'm just a competitor. I like to compete and I like to be physically active and I like to get involved with other people that like to do the same. Like, that's really my identity and who I am. When I was younger, I expressed that through basketball because that was like my first love as a sport, you know what I mean? So at the time it felt like that was my whole identity, but in reality, that was the expression of the components that were within me. At the end of the day, I just wanted to compete. I wanted to be physically active. I wanted to be strong. I wanted to be fast. I wanted to find ways to push myself to be better. So that whole story is what really made me realize like that's at the core of like who I really am. And it really took all those things happening to me, and I don't regret anything because it really helped me realize who I am and what I need to do in life. And I feel like I really hit that point like probably my like junior year of college. I was like, okay, this is like what it is. Like, I feel like I found myself, you know what I mean? And I'm blessed because I know a lot of people don't even really get to experience that moment for a long time and they're still looking for their thing. So like, if I had to give y'all advice about anything, it'd probably be like, yo, go make sure like you try things, you expose yourself to things. Don't be afraid of going through things or going through challenges because they're really gonna help you in the future, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you don't think I went through scary things? You don't think I doubted myself? You don't think I did any of that? Like, come on. I went through all that and I still do, but like, my mentality has changed where I don't let it stop me now. Now it's just like, it's just another obstacle that's just gonna have to be there, but it's gonna help me get better and grow as a person. And once you get that first taste of getting over that hurdle and then accomplishing something and feeling great, it starts to get addicting and you want more because you know you're capable of more. But the hardest point is probably getting through that first wall, because once you do that, it changes who you are for the better, man. It really does. So if y'all are still here watching, man, this is a long video, but I really love y'all for tuning in. It means a lot to me, for real, because this is like my story, and I just wanted to be able to share that with y'all so y'all understand where I'm coming from, and hopefully the story inspired you to realize like what you can do with your life and what ways maybe you're not exposing yourself to things, or ways that you're not thinking that now you can take and use for yourself. Like, that's why I did this video for y'all, you know what I mean? So I really love you guys for staying tuned. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more videos. I love to help people. I love to give advice. I love to just be entertaining, whatever it may be. I love doing it for y'all. So let me know. I love you guys. Peace.